Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I would request all the participants to kindly mute their systems and so that we do not experience disturbance during the session, please. This is Trade Commission of Pakistan, part of the High Commission of Pakistan. The webinars today look Africa Initiative of the Government of Pakistan, opportunities and challenges in this regard. Today's webinars are organized by the High Commission of Pakistan, of course, with the collaboration and assistance extended by the Ministry of Commerce, Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, and Invest SA South Africa, Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, South Africa. I am really grateful to all the speakers for today's session. We have Madam Rabia, who is representing Haryali. We have Madam Myra, who is representing the cosmetic sector of Pakistan, and she is the CEO of Connatural. We have Mr. Fawad, who is COO of Lulusar, a clothing retail brand in Pakistan. The public sector in Pakistan, in South African side, is represented by Madam Rashmee, who is a director at Invest SA of South Africa. From Pakistan side, we have the public sector representative Myra Kazi, who is a joint secretary at the Ministry of Commerce and Trade. We have a representation of the private sector that I also spoke about. And from South African side, we have Madam Kate, who is representing the textile sector in South Africa, and Lindewli, who is representing the sanitary pad and another important sector related to women in South Africa. And last but not the least, most importantly, today we have our guest speaker joining us today is Madam Zeba Bakhtiar Sahiba, who is a well-known, every home is a well-known name in Pakistan and in India. She has decades of experience in TV industry, filmmaking, and she also has a very talented son who is in the Generation Z, is taking lead over in music, direction, and acting. So we are very honored to be joined today by Madam Zeba Bakhtiar. She has also started now in entering into the real estate sector, and is also working for women economic uplifting in some downtrodden area in Pakistan. So I will request now the High Commissioner of Pakistan, Dr. Mazhar Javed, to formally open the session, and thereafter we will invite our guest speaker to speak on the session. But before that, I would request Dr. Mazhar Javed to formally open the session. Yes, sir. सर आप म्यूट हैं. You are mute, sir. Sir, आप म्यूट हैं. You're not mute, but I don't know why I can't hear you. I can't hear you, sir.
I hear.
Yes, you're fine now. Jesus.
You still can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Right. Right. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon, all the participants. First of all, my sincere gratitude to each one of you for joining us in this endeavor, which is basically meant and designed to add concrete substance to the women's role that they play in the society. Because it's very easy to raise the slogans, but what we really need to do is to add concrete substance into the role that the women play in the society, or they need to play in the society. That was the main objective of organizing this event. Again, my greetings to all the women participants here on the International Women's Day, which was celebrated 2 days ago. And I'm sure that with our joint endeavors, with every passing day, women will be playing more substantive, more concrete role into the economic and developmental areas, actually in all walks of life. So I hope and wish that this webinar and our talk program today, it is a step in that direction. I'm sure the direction is right to make this step as big as possible is up to all of us to accomplish. Thanks. And let's now start with the proceedings of the event. Thank you, Myra.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your comments and for your support as well. Now, I would request our guest speaker, Madam Zeba Bakhtiar Sahiba, to introduce herself to the audience. She is a well-known name, as I already said, in the Indian subcontinent, in the Pakistan, India, Bangladesh region. But I would request her to introduce herself and her current services in this entertainment sector for the region, and also her current endeavors in real estate and women empowerment, financial empowerment. So, Madam Zeba Bakhtiar Sahiba, I request you now for to share your experiences with us, please.
Assalamu Your Excellency, Myra ji, and all the wonderful ladies I see here who are so inspirational in everything they're doing. As an introduction, I'll go a little bit back. I'm basically born in Balochistan, which is, for those of you who know where Balochistan is, it's on the border of Afghanistan and Iran. And it, over the last 20 years, maybe slightly more, has been a very troubled area. I was born there, grew up there, went to school there, and then because it was not a very progressive society, left and went on to develop a career in media, which was definitely not something which was done or socially encouraged at the time. I think I was more driven by curiosity. Allah was very kind. He gave me some wonderful opportunities to work on something that I was curious about. I can't it. And Alhamdulillah, I was very fortunate. I got opportunities to in Pakistan and in India and a little bit in England, through which I learned a lot and got to understand a lot. And after 30
Madam, we cannot hear you. I'm sorry, we cannot hear you.
at all?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
You have not been able to hear me from the beginning? Hello?
No, you just went off for about 10 seconds. We can hear you.
Okay, where should I resume from? Where should I resume from?
Where you said that you did this as a rebellion and curiosity.
Yes, I did it. I did it totally out of rebellion. It wasn't that like people say कि मुझे बचपन से शौक था, मुझे बचपन से कोई शौक नहीं था. I was brought up conservative. I thought I would get married and live happily ever after. I loved kids, and I went to college, do a BA, do an MA, and I grew up with those ideas. And then it was to me because I don't think anything is good or bad just because it is said to be so. I think there's more to it. You cannot categorize anything as good or bad. So it was my curiosity, maybe because I came from an intellectual family who encouraged thinking and reading. So I got into media and realized that, nothing is good or bad. It's what a person makes it and how it's used and how it's experienced. So after 30 years, even in 30 years, I think I've done much less work than a lot of new people in media who I meet who have been on for 5 years have done more work than I did. Maybe because it was not something that my environment supported. It was something that I did out of curiosity, but I think I did as much as I wanted to. And then because I had inherited family property in Balochistan, which most of my family had gone after losing my parents. It was that I needed to do something. And I did have an interest in real estate. I had been investing and, doing things in real estate for the last 10, 15 years. That I realized that this property, which was quite big and was not something I could just get up and sell easily. So the logical conclusion would be to develop it and to sell it in small units of shops because it was a prime commercial area. So I plunged in the deep end and became the first woman commercial real estate developer in Balochistan, which I think did ruffle some and challenge the norms. But Alhamdulillah, I started in 2017. Now I'm at the tail end of my first project, which is a shopping mall in Quetta city on about half an hour. And working with the wonderful people involved in at every stage of the construction and the booking of how sales are made, how everything happens. So now I'm looking to employ more women with me because I've realized that it's very important for women to have a safe working space in places like that, where people are uncomfortable to let their daughters work because they don't know how the boss is going to behave with their daughter. Here, the boss is a woman, and the boss welcomes any woman. So I have, so far from the beginning, I've had one girl with me who has been my financial mentor for any job. I make sure it is for males and females, and I've made it very clear that if there is a girl or a woman who has equal qualification and capability, I will give preference to the women who are educated young girls and said that, please employ them with you. So for me, that is a huge honor. And I'm looking to do whatever I can for women because it's very, very important to create jobs for women, especially in areas where women women's employment and is not supported. So to be able to create jobs for women who are working at home in the cottage industry to sort of upgrade their work, align their work in a way that the product they're making becomes more saleable, and to set up a sustainable model because today I'm there, tomorrow when I'm not there, they should still be able to burn their home fires. They should still be able to provide for their home. So I'm sort of trying to work this out because I've found that if a woman earns, she educates her children, she feeds the family. When a man earns, that's not entirely something you can count on because men put themselves first. Maybe that's the way nature has made it. Of course, there are exceptions, but women generally care about the home, care about their children, about the family, and put them first. And it's really important that we have women in our society and we empower and strengthen women, hold their hands through the process so that they can take care of themselves. Because other than just the economic uh, needs and education, it's also psychologically being born a girl. The way you're brought up, the socially conceptually, you feel like a second class citizen and you're made to feel like a second class citizen. So psychologically, you need to motivate them and make them realize that no, this world would not turn without us. No one would be born if it was not for women. So that you don't have to fight for women's rights. We have the rights. We just need to claim our place and do the work necessary to get the honor and respect that we deserve. By screaming, it's not going to happen. By proving yourself, to stand when we decide to do something. But with time, that opposition becomes respect and it creates a place for you and also paves the road for others behind you. So that's sure to meet friends in South Africa, because this is the first time I'm meeting people in South Africa and having such a meeting. Thank you so much, Myra ji,
We're honored.
for having invited me, because I wasn't really aware of the connection. I'm very honored, and I'm here. I mean, I was so kind of, maybe my world was smaller, my world has become bigger today. So I would love to keep the connection. And, we need to move together to bring a change in this world. We need to stand together with one vision and one platform, just to make the world a better place for each other.
Thank you.
I would welcome any questions or anything you'd like to ask me.
Thank you, Madam Zeba Bakhtiar. We are really grateful to you for joining us today, and we are very happy following the Look Africa initiative adopted by the government of Pakistan to focus on the African continent, the opportunities that exist in the African continent. And we are happy that we are introducing you to the South African community today. South Africa has a huge Pakistani diaspora that are contributing to the development of the South African community, and we are proud of our Pakistani diaspora in South Africa. Now, I would invite Madam Myra Kazi, who is representing public sector Pakistan. She is a joint secretary at the Ministry of Commerce and Trade, and is implementing Look Africa policy, one of the pioneers of the policy at the Ministry of Commerce, and is looking after the portfolio of Africa at the Ministry of Commerce. She has served as a commercial diplomat in Indonesia, and is working studiously to promote economic interest of Pakistan in Africa.
Hello.
Madam Maria, I would request, now request your comments. I would request you to briefly touch upon the trade relation of Pakistan with South Africa, the potential that exists in different sectors between Pakistan and South Africa, and with regard to the opportunities that exists in this sector specifically for women. So, Madam Maria Kazi, I would request you for your comments and on the occasion, please.
Thank you, Myra, for joining us with the ladies from South Africa. Nice to see Miss Rashmee Ragavan and Miss Rachel. I'm Myra Kazi, Joint Secretary for Africa in the Ministry of Commerce, Islamabad. And we have been working to enhance our trade and engagement with the whole of Africa, but especially with South Africa and a few larger economies in Africa. Our trade has been with comparison of Turkey or India or China or US. A lot of countries are trading with Africa, and in fact, since last few years, Africa's trade with Asia has been constantly increasing, which is a good omen of South-South cooperation and developing world trading with each other. So we also launched the Look Africa policy in 2017. And under that policy, we have increased our commercial representation from 4 missions in 2017 to 10 missions in now, 2020. And Humaira is sitting in Johannesburg, but she is accredited for other SACU countries also. She is doing a good job. So we are working to have institutional mechanisms with the African countries to have participation in more exhibitions and more trade delegation conferences. We organized a Pakistan-Africa Trade Development Conference in Nairobi last year. It was attended by 25 African countries, including South Africa. And the good thing is that there South Africa was represented by a lady officer from South African Department of International Trade, and she gave a wonderful presentation on the trade and investment opportunities in South Africa, and what facilities are being offered to the investors. And it was a great experience learning from her. She gave the presentation in front of the conference. Further, we are trying to have joint working groups or joint trade committees with Africa also. And we are very keen to have that with South Africa too, because the larger ministerial commissions or economic commissions, they averagely meet after 8 to 10 years. By that time, so much gap has come that the initiative is lost. So we are working, we have offered to South African government also to have a joint trade commission only, a Ministry of Trade to Ministry of Trade. Currently, our bilateral trade is to the tune of 750, no, it is $1,120 million, but the trade balance is highly tilted in favor of South Africa. Our exports in 2019 have been around $180 million, and the imports are $940 million. That has increased in last few years because we have established a lot of coal-fired power plants. And for that, we are importing coal from South Africa. Now, I don't think that this is one area of opportunity for trading with South Africa, but perhaps women will not be involved in that. But we discussed in the conference also, Humaira brought some business women also from South Africa. There is a scope of trade in textiles and ready-made garments, and that can be done by women. We had a lady who was dealing in textiles with ready-made garments. Other areas of cooperation include agriculture, manufactured articles, leather goods, medical instruments. So we look forward to trading in those sectors also with the South Africa. And we would like to have diversified imports also, because all imports are predominantly of that coal. Out of the $950 million exports from South Africa, only 100 million around that figure is other products. Rest 90% it is coal. So we can trade in other areas also, but the problem I see that we have institutional interaction mechanism, G2G, meetings, consultations, any such arrangements. We only have a joint ministerial commission, and that has not met for last many years. So if we can work on regular interactions or high-level visits, trade delegations visits, that will improve the relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Myra Kazi, for your comments. Indeed, they are very useful and valuable to the participants joining us today. After Madam Myra Kazi, I would like to invite Rashmee Ragavan. She's director at Invest SA and is representing the public sector of South Africa. Rashmee, now, do we have Rashmee here?
Yes, Meva, I'm here.
Okay, thank you, Rashmee. Thank you for joining us today. And I will share the screen for your presentation now. I hope it goes well. And let's see, where is the... So we are, yeah, so it's fine now, right, Rashmee?
Yes, yes, Meva. Okay, great. So if I can just start. Good afternoon on the call. Thank you to the High Commissioner for Pakistan, as well as the Trade Commission, and my fellow colleagues that have presented as well and are going to present. A very good afternoon to you all. I am joined by some of my colleagues from the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition as well. So I acknowledge them on this particular webinar as well. Part of the brief that I was given is that Pakistan entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs, are looking to understand the landscape when they want to invest in South Africa. And I represent a division that looks after foreign direct investment. So we are called Inward Investment Facilitation and Aftercare. And the idea is really to support foreign direct investment that's coming into the country in terms of facilitating and structuring their engagements with the relevant stakeholders and institutions that they need to connect with to be able to make business decisions around their business cases in establishing manufacturing facilities in the country. Next slide, Humaira. And I'm sure that, you know, with all countries, including Pakistan, including South Africa, really it's all about the image, the brand perceptions and the perceptions of the investors when looking to invest. So one needs to always look at what type of institutional arrangements, what type of institutional programs are there. So I thought I would start off with the DTIC, or the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, as we are known now, on the strategic objectives. And really it's a focus on facilitating the transformation of the economy, growing the economy to promote industrial development, investment, exports, competitiveness and employment creation. It's also about increasing, as Ms. Kazi has said, our regional and global relations in order to advance the trade, industrial policy and economic development objectives. It is about broadening our economic the economy to be able to achieve that inclusive growth, and having a fair regulatory environment in which the businesses can operate that allow for an equitable and socially responsible manner in which to operate itself. And then looking at with the investors is to really create and promote a professional, ethical, competitive, and customer-focused working environment that allows for effective and efficient service delivery. Next slide. So within the units that I come from, in which we support foreign direct investment, and the women-owned enterprises, enterprises that are owned by men. So we don't discriminate between the structure or the who owns these, but it is open to from a gender perspective. We really are responsible out promoting and facilitating inward investment into South Africa. Looking at in 2018, the an ambitious goal for the implementation of that investment drive through the investment conferences and then the reporting on the commitments that have been made at those investment conferences. We also support through a number of forums, through a number of roundtables, through targeted investment seminars. We support the presidential envoys as well as support the different forums, associations and our internal stakeholders in providing a platform to be able to indicate what the different regulations, programs, policies are to enable that investment to be able to come into the country. And through the partnership with the World Bank, we have an investment climate reform program on the ease of doing business, and that's looking at improving South Africa's competitiveness ranking from 82 to under 50 over the next 3 years. And this was announced in 2018, but it is about creating and placing reforms to enhance support to investors to fast track, to unblock and reduce the tape in the government itself. So we have a number of relationships with inter-departments to be able to make it much easier for them to do business in the country. And recently, through the presidency, we've created a public-private growth initiative in which we bring together the private sector and the public sector to look at fast-tracking and unblocking issues that investors have in the country to be able to implement their projects in the manufacturing sectors. Next slide. So whenever we look at impact of programs, whether we're the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, or we any national government department, or provincial government department, or local government department, but this is across government itself. What's important to us is that any investment that comes into the country, any partnership that's coming into the country, that it should translate in the following benefits for the country. Efficient global manufacturing processes that we look at itself. And more importantly, it is also allowing for enterprise development, and it is allowing for us to be able to increase that growth in the country. Next slide. So when we look at investment, we look at an investment life cycle, and that is attracting the investment into the country, looking at the company establishing its presence in the country. We look at how the company can expand and grow in the country. And then we look at the linkages of partnering them with other companies and supply chain villages that allow them to increase their to also using the value chain for manufacturing through their supply chain itself. And so this then brings us to identifying that there may be marketing services, so where we present the value proposition to the company that's looking to establish or be looking to attract in the country. It could be information services that we are offering. So if a company is looking for information to be able to strengthen their investment case, assistance through facilitating those various engagements with our different divisions within the department or outside of the department. And then to be able to increase that investment climate, we look at advocacy services that allow for policies to be amended or changed or regulations to be looked at differently so that the investment climate and the investors are able to streamline their services in a much more conducive environment in which to operate in the country. Next slide. And so I just thought on this particular slide, you can see the diversity of the sectors in which we operate. And the idea here is really talking about diversification of the different sectors that women entrepreneurs can play a role in, from finance, real estate, and business services, to transport, storage, and communication, through to manufacturing, through to mining. So Humaira, I don't know, I mean, if my voice is still unclear, I will try to increase it, but it could be as a result of my connectivity. I'm not sure. If you can just tell me if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, Rashmee, I can very clearly hear you, but the other speakers, if they can, I don't know if they can, but I can hear you clearly. You have been,
okay.
We can hear you. We can hear you. It's very clear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So from a value proposition point of view, and a number of other slides will talk to that value proposition itself. But I think the idea behind this is we have a diversified economy in which we can operate. And so there are vast opportunities and vast investment opportunities across a number of sectors as well. Next slide. This particular slide talks to our economic infrastructure, and the economic infrastructure which is critical to any investor coming into the country. So whether it is women investors, whether it is youth-owned investors, but in order to support production activity, there has to be good infrastructure to be able to not only place the investment, but also for export-oriented development. And in this particular case, not only do we have a good developed economic infrastructure, but through our recovery and reconstruction plan, a huge amount of focus has been looking at and is going to be looking at rolling out critical infrastructure to make the investment climate a lot more conducive. And to be able to increase and look at the value chains that can enable a lot more investment in the different sectors. The next slide. This is just an idea showing you our road, rail, and port facilities that we do have that allow for companies to place their manufacturing hubs within South Africa and then export into the rest of Africa. Next slide. One of the key elements that we look at, or one of the key areas that we look at where a company can put their investment is through special economic zones. And these special economic zones are focused on specific sectors that are placed in the country and different parts of the country. And it is also based on the acclimatization of the different factors that investors look at when placing investments. So, you know, it's looking at whether it has high level of skills in that area, looking at raw material source, looking at location itself in terms of depending on the countries that one wants to look at exporting into. And so, for example, in your Atlantis, it is high tech. Saldanha is looking at oil and gas. East London is looking at light manufacturing. Richards Bay is looking at chemicals. Dubai Trade Port is looking at agro-processing and pharmaceuticals. But that does not mean that other special economic zones are not focused on those areas, but there is a very special niche to the sectors that they are promoting and that they are developing in those particular special economic zones. Next slide. Just some of the incentives. One of the key areas or key focus questions that came from the investors or investors that are looking at placing their investments is what type of financial support or what type of support can be found in these particular areas. So in the special economic zones, fulfilling obviously the requirements and regulations that are administered by the receiver of revenue. It is preferential corporate tax rate. So our current corporate tax rate is 28%. You can get a preferential corporate tax rate of 15%. We look at value-added tax and customs duty suspension in customs controlled areas. There is an employment incentive, a preferential land rental and utility rates that are offered by the promoters of these special economic zones in collaboration with municipal investment agencies. And so it is a negotiation that can take place between the investor and those institutions in which we facilitate those particular introductions by the investors to those special economic zones. Next slide.
Rashmee, I would request if you could just summarize it in short. We will share the presentation with everyone. We also have to engage the other participants.
No problem. No problem, Myra. So just some of the funding instruments that we do have that you can access from our industrial financing division within the department. And these are some of the programs in the different sectors that are being offered. And then we have developmental financial institutions like the Industrial Development Corporation, the National Empowerment Fund, the Development Bank of Southern Africa. So these are just some of the institutions that could be part of your debt financing mix. Next slide.
Rashmee, I would take my position of as a moderator, I would exploit this opportunity and I would ask, are these financing opportunities only available for the South Africans or for the foreigners as well?
So they're applicable to both. Some programs are applicable to South Africans based on the type of investment model that one looks at. So if a foreign direct investor is looking to partner with a South African investor, and the South African investor has majority shareholdership, then they can look at something like the Black Industrialist Scheme. If they are in automotive production, they can apply directly as an OEM or directly as a foreign direct investor. If they are applying to developmental financial institutions, they can apply directly, or they can apply in partnership with the companies that they may be engaging to partner with.
Thank you.
This is just through the different trade agreements that we have in place that allow for companies to put their manufacturing facilities in the country, and this allows them to also export either duty-free into those countries. The biggest free trade continental African, the African continental free trade area has become the latest agreement that we have been able to negotiate, and this has become effective from the 1st of January 2021, and it allows for over 1 billion people in terms of access to market that investors can tap into. And these particular these other trade agreements that we have, for example, the Southern African Development Community Free Trade Area, the EFTA SACU Free Trade Area, AGOA, the Economic Partnership Agreement allows companies to export into the EU as well as export into the US, export into South America, export into India, and export into the rest of Africa. We have a particular Trade and Invest Africa initiative within the department that can provide further information, and we have a Trade Agreements Development Division that can provide information on any of these trade agreements as well.
Oh, okay. Rashmee, I would request if we could go directly to the contacts that are available. You know, the government contacts that the investors or those who want to engage into trade with South Africa. Those, if we could share this.
So if you can go, you can just skip the slides, Myra. I'll take you to the important ones. So one of the things we're now looking at brings together public, private, and labor is our master plans. And so it's really about increasing industrial growth. And we have master plans that have been completed in automotive, clothing and textiles, the sugar industry, poultry industry, so a number of different sectors. And we have dedicated representatives that look after this. So happy to share those contact details as well. Next slide. We can go through this slide. This just talks about the investment commitments. This is the sectoral strengths across the different sectors for people to go in their leisure. And they're more than welcome to contact Invest SA if they want more information. And we'll then put them in touch with our policy unit from an industry perspective on the directors. Next slide. Next slide. This is just the investment opportunities itself in the healthcare sector, as well as the opportunities in other sectors, so food and agribusiness, warehouse and logistics, e-commerce, digitalization, the green economy, business process outsourcing, innovation and technology, automotive components and vehicles, a number of sectors that offer opportunities where the sectors are already in terms of ready to be able to attract investment, whether it's through a partnership or through a subsidiary of Pakistani-owned companies. Challenges, I've just indicated that some of the challenges that companies may be facing when they come into the country, they may not necessarily have done their due diligence, or they may not be speaking to the institution that may be mandated with the regulation or legislation, or they may be providing too little information, or they may be looking at market access, and those are commercial discussions. So we are able to interact and engage and facilitate those engagements with the respective institutions. Next slide. So we have one-stop shops in which we have partnerships with the provinces through the investment promotion agencies in the provinces that we can help engage and facilitate introductions. So currently we have it in the Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, and Gauteng, and we are looking at rolling it into other provinces as well. Just some of the reasons why you should invest in South Africa, And if you go into the next slide, I think it provides resources in websites that you can look at that allows for value proposition, as well as information about the different sectors, and then some of the testimonials of companies that have invested. We certainly look forward to partnering with yourselves. And then I've just given the contact details of the respective persons that you can engage with in Invest SA that will then be able to facilitate engagements with the respective officials and the departments to be able to take the conversations forward. Once again, apologies for taking up so much of time, Humaira, but I thank you for your attention. We can't hear you, Humaira, you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're very grateful, Rashmee, Ragavan, to you for taking out the time, informing the audience about the opportunities that exist in this sector. And in South Africa, in different sectors, especially the economic zones and the incentives that are being provided by the South African government. We would share this presentation with everyone present here. And meanwhile, I think I should be telling everyone that we are recording this session and we will upload it on the official YouTube channel of the Trade Commission of Pakistan. Now, after I would request all those participating and joining us today, please mute your screens in order to avoid any disturbances in the webinar. Now, I would request Madam Rabia Amir from Pakistan. Rabia is a partner in Haryali Online, an SME e-commerce platform that is uniquely positioned to bring the popular Haryali market vendors online. She's also currently a consultant for the Bahawalpur Women Chamber of Commerce and is a mentor for Pine, Pakistan's first social entrepreneur enterprise incubator. Rabia Amir, I request you now for your comments and to share your experiences. We would love to hear from you in what you're doing currently, and especially with the Women Chamber of Commerce Haryali platform. And you have 10 minutes. Thank you, Rabia.
Right. Hi, can everybody hear me? Humaira, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, great. So is it possible to share the screen so I can quickly take you guys through a very short presentation about Haryali, and then we can discuss it more if anybody has any questions? Right. So can everybody see this? Is this visible, Humaira, to everyone?
No, I can't see it.
I can't see it either.
Can't see anything.
All right, just one second. Can you see now?
Still nothing on my side.
Also nothing on my side. Thank you.
Yeah, I also can't see.
मेरा ख्याल है मिस उमेरा आपको स्क्रीन पीछे से क्लियर कर देना ताकि
हाँ जी. I think you'll have to share clear your screen, Humaira. The presentation you had up is still up.
Really? Yeah, okay. So yeah, okay. I'll just stop sharing that one. Stop share. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry for that.
No issues. Ji, can you see now?
Yes. Now we can see.
Okay, fantastic. So hello everyone. My name is Rabia Amir. I'm co-founder at Haryali Market Online. I hope that everybody can hear me, and I'll get started as soon as I see a show of hands, I guess, since everybody's on mute. Yeah. Okay. So Haryali Market Online is essentially all about various sorts of products and services that are made in Pakistan. What we are essentially looking at is helping small businesses grow. Now, the informal sector in terms of small businesses, mostly that are women entrepreneurs, is quite diverse in terms of what we have to offer in Pakistan, but also that they are unable to fully sort of experience and fully realize their potential to grow. So what we're doing through this platform is that, just to give you a bit of background about Haryali market, first of all. So it's a market that's been running on ground for the past 7 years now, and very successfully. And we have, every time that, and it happens about once a month. So every time it does happen, we have about 80 to 90 vendors that participate from various sorts of industries, whether it's food, it's local produce, it's crafts, it's beauty products, a lot of different things. So our platform essentially caters to SMEs and entrepreneurs, but it's also about bringing the informal business sector onto one platform. Obviously, like all sorts of businesses, we do have our vision and expansion in place, and we are looking at taking the same model and diversifying it and expanding it to create avenues for bilateral trade, which is why I'm here today. Also, we would like to obviously explore the e-commerce space to bring together cultures and people, and to essentially create an international community of like-minded people who are looking to grow and remain true to their roots, but also on the other hand, looking to gain from trade, international trade as well. So these are some of the vendors on the website, and so most of these essentially, and I think Humaira asked me to talk about this, most of these are from the beauty and skincare, and Myra's also here. She's not a vendor with us. We tried to get her on board, but we do have some of our competition here with us on the website. So we're looking at essentially food, local produce, beauty, and we're moving towards looking more at, as you can see through our geolocations, we're right now, since it's been about 9 months since we started, we're operating, ours are operating from 3 major cities in Pakistan, but we are currently onboarding Peshawar and also from interior Sindh. So that in those areas, we're looking more at crafts and local textile. And we're also looking at building and providing this platform to the rural community, to rural women who essentially are looking for a way to obviously increase their revenue, but also that they do not have the skills. And obviously there's certain cultural barriers that come from doing business online or doing business in person even. So it's usually mediated, like Zeba said earlier on, that it's usually, there are certain cultural barriers that stop women, especially in Pakistan, from rural areas, from fully realizing their potential. So that's something that we're trying to address through Haryali Online. This is what we currently offer. And so we are able to entrepreneurs, but also on the website, there's a reliable logistics network. And we also provide a certain amount of training to our vendors who want to be on board with us, in case they don't know how to operate an online shop, or they've never done it before, or they don't have their own website or a team that handles it. Future plans obviously would be to replicate this sort of model ideally across the world, but initially in other developing countries, and to then obviously create linkages between these models operating in various countries. And what we're looking for is obviously to create a global e-commerce traffic flow, and we're looking for reliable partners in various developing countries for this. So this is something, this is what the website looks like. And I can actually take you to the website. If you give me a minute. I don't know if you can see or not.
No, it's not visible.
दोबारा से ओपन कर दे, मेरा ख्याल है थोड़ा सा टेढ़ा हो गया. It's not right.
जी जी, एक मिनट. Can you see now?
जी जी.
Yeah, so this is essentially the website, and these are all the categories that we're catering to. So there's food, obviously some have longer shelf life than others. There's beauty. And so what we're looking at is providing a platform to SMEs, to women entrepreneurs, and also to give them a certain amount of visibility. So we do want to develop a sense of community with our brands that are on board, our brand partners. And we want to kind of project them in a way that is positive, not only for Pakistan, but also for women in general. So this is about it. I'd be very happy if you guys explored the website, gave me some feedback. Once obviously all this is over, I'll share my email, etc. Yeah, so that's about it. Any questions?
Thank you, Rabia. We're grateful for the information that you shared, and also about the Haryali specifically. I also have plenty of questions, but I will ask the speakers at the end, and request the speakers at the end to ask questions from each other if they still have. But of course, when a speaker speaks freshly on a certain subject, then it's fresh in the minds of the other participants. So if there are any questions now that anybody would like to ask from Rabia about Haryali market, or any information that she shared, you're most welcome. Okay, Rabia, I have one question. The Haryali, so you resource all your material from the areas that you are operating in, like Peshawar, Karachi, Islamabad, these areas?
So our brands on board operate from these areas, but a lot of the products itself are sourced from other areas within Pakistan. Like, for example, there's this vendor on board called Paiman. She actually provides proof of source as well, in the sense if she's gotten, let's say, walnuts from the northern areas and she's extracting oil from it, she will actually provide you with the husks, the shells of the walnuts with your product. So vendors, actually our brands are sourcing from all over Pakistan, but yes, they're based in these 3 major cities for now. We're looking to expand to other cities as well.
Now I would request Kate. Kate is representing the textile sector in South Africa. She's into clothing sector. We would request her to briefly introduce her company, the textile sector in general in South Africa, and any opportunities that exist for young entrepreneurs, and how is she doing in this sector. So, and challenges for local entrepreneurs and the young entrepreneurs in Pakistan who are looking forward to explore this sector. What challenges and opportunities exist for the foreigners here? Kate, I now invite you. So if you could, I would request you if you could kindly start your video, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for my late connection. I think I was battling to connect. My name is Kate. I'm from Pretoria in South Africa. My factory is based in the heart of Pretoria, and we are in a textile manufacturing. Can anybody?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, Kate, we can hear you.
Hi, Kate, we can hear you.
Hi. You can hear me. Thank you very much, because I think the
Yes,
network is the yes. I'm battling. Yes. Lekate Clothing, we are manufacturing textile clothing, school uniform, corporate PPE, and all this custom made. And Lekate Clothing is specializing with the quality that we can hear me.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we all can hear you. Yeah.
Yes. Hello?
We can hear you, Kate.
Yes, yes, thank you very much, ma'am. With the opportunities and challenges that we have here in our young youth in textile, I think it's we are willing to work with all the women of Pakistan and Africa as a whole. That I understand that we in South Africa, there's a lot of things that we lack, skills and all these resources that we can be able to grow our businesses. And opportunities are there. We are able to grow our small businesses across the world.
Okay. We can hear you, Kate. We can hear you. You can continue. You can.
Yes,
you're speaking. Yeah, we can very well.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much. Yes. We are willing to work with the women of Pakistan, because I believe that they are more skilled than our women in South Africa. We are willing to work with the women in Pakistan so that we grow our business together, and as well as the trading in. I believe in terms of material, they are able to produce their own material, they are able to print it, they are able to design whatever they can with the material. And here in South Africa, there's a lot of things we need Pakistan's women to help us to for my side especially, I'm keen to know where, how is the material made from, so that we know when we do our clothing in here in South Africa, we understand the type of material that we are using and from which are made from.
Yes, Kate. We can hear you. You can just continuously, there is no interruption.
Yes. My wish is for our women across the world to work together, to stand together, and we are able to conquer everything, all the challenges that we have. We can work together and we can go through and grow our business across.
Thank you. Thank you, Kate. Is that all from your side?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Kate. It's good to hear from you, and also to see your willingness to work with the people in the textile sector in Pakistan. Now, I would request Madam Myra, who is representing the beauty industry in Pakistan, the owner of Co-Natural Cosmetics Beauty Products in Pakistan. Besides being an entrepreneur, she is a mentor and public speaker for women entrepreneurship and for inspiring women, which is a non-profit organization. So not only that she is an academic, I have her resume, so not sort of a resume, but I have her profile in front of me, and she is so well accomplished and somebody who did very well in her academic career, and now also in professional entrepreneurial career. So now I would request Madam Myra to share her experiences with us, the cosmetic industry, briefly introduce her company to the audiences, the beauty industry in Pakistan, and what made her to join the beauty industry of Pakistan, the potential that she sees in this sector, and also to express her desire or willingness if she wants to join the or enter the South African market. So Myra, I would request you now to share your comments with us, please.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency. Can you hear me, Myra?
Yes, I can hear you. You're fine.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, great, great. Good afternoon, Your Excellency, and all other delegates. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. As Myra introduced, Myra, thank you so much for very kind words regarding my background. My name is Myra Chaudary, and I'm the CEO of Co-Natural Beauty Private Limited. Co-Natural was the pioneer in manufacturing and retailing 100% natural and organic products in Pakistan. We started this business about almost 5 years ago. Funny thing is that my background actually was investment banking. I grew up in Pakistan in Lahore, and then I left for the UK. I did my undergraduate at LSE, and then I joined investment banking, and I spent almost 13 years there between London and Zurich, New York, and Singapore. And when I returned back to Pakistan about 7 years ago, I felt that even though Pakistan is an agrarian economy, meaning that most of our people are involved in the business of agriculture, the value-added agricultural services in Pakistan was really lacking. And one of the things that when I was looking for cosmetics for myself, I felt that most of the products were imported, and a lot of the local products that were available were not really good quality. And were mislabeled in many ways. And I felt that, wow, we make amazing fruit, we make amazing vegetables, we're an agrarian country, but yet we have not been able to value add on the cosmetic side, especially when it came to 100% natural and organic products. So that is how kind of the idea of Co-Natural was born. When I was looking at the industry in Pakistan, especially in the beauty market, I felt that this entire industry was just full of whitening creams. And I felt that was wrong. I felt that why is it that even some of the local manufacturers, mostly being men, were in the and even the multinational companies that were coming into Pakistan were in the business of selling whitening creams. And I felt that I think that this was culturally wrong. I wanted to not only promote value-added agrarian services in Pakistan, but I also wanted to this notion that fairer skin need to promote the fact that a lot of these whitening creams that were available in the market had very high levels of dangerous chemicals in them. And no one was really talking about it. If you know, this has now become very topical. Like, as you know, Unilever has just changed their name of Fair and Lovely, one of their biggest beauty creams that are sold across the world. Even that's been changed. That's now Fair, Glow and Lovely. And I think that this is now topical, but 5 years ago, no one was really talking about it. And so I wanted to come in and kind of change the paradigm of the beauty industry. And so that's why kind of Co-Natural was born. And we were the first ones online selling, compared to even L'Oreal or one of the biggest multinational companies in Pakistan, I believe that the online business was at the cusp, and we were one of the first people to actually manufacture products in Pakistan that were 100% natural, ensure that all the packaging was recyclable, ensure that we had women in the workplace. So very proud to say even now that 100% of our sales staff is women, about 70% of our total workforce is women. So bringing women into the workplace. And at that time when we set it up, we said that we wanted to be online, and that's how kind of Co-Natural was.
Hello.
For some local hotels and textile companies within Pakistan. And then we also export to the UAE as well. I feel that there are so many opportunities for the industry in Pakistan and to work with South Africa. I don't know much about South Africa, but pre-corona days, what I did figure out was that South Africa is quite self-sufficient. Many of the agrarian practices that they do, people are very inclined to natural and more holistic living. A lot of people are now becoming more conscious about the environment. And so for me as an as a woman entrepreneur based in Pakistan in a very male-dominated environment. Just by the way, I'm part of the Pakistan Cosmetics Manufacturing Association, which is the cosmetic manufacturers, and so it is still a very male-dominated industry. But I feel that we should put between South African and Pakistani business in the beauty sector, especially. For example, in some of the ingredients that we use as from natural ingredients, a lot of essential oils I know are being produced out of South Africa. We're similarly looking for export opportunities for the South African market, where we can either sell Core Natural as a brand, or we can private label opportunities or skills transfer for what we do to actually be based in South Africa. I think that 8 billion and it's growing at 8 to 10%. In Pakistan, this industry only is about 561 million US dollars, and the natural and organic part is about 172 million, again growing at 8 to 10%. I don't know the South African values, but I would presume they're in line with the world and growing steadily. So I feel that there are lots of opportunities to be explored with from Pakistan from an import and export perspective, and I hope that we can use this forum to have that dialogue and conversation.
Thank you, Myra Chaudary, for sharing your experiences, and of course, we are proud of you as a very strong and committed entrepreneur into the beauty industry. You very rightly put in the the fairness complex that we experience in our region, and that is being exploited by the manufacturer, whether they're global scale manufacturers or local manufacturers. But it is very interesting that you thought of using your own the Pakistani agricultural base and coming up with natural products and giving everyone the opportunity to use Pakistan-made products in Pakistan to enhance the beauty that they have been blessed with naturally. Coming and talking about the South African cosmetic industry, cosmetic as in general, the sector has a huge import. They import a lot from globally, and Pakistan share in cosmetic import of South Africa is very small. In fact, it is very minimal, and our exports to South Africa in cosmetic sector is limited only to some hair oils or some very basic cosmetic products. So the global brands they made their way to South Africa. So I think there is a huge opportunity for Pakistani manufacturers in cosmetic sector to share it with the South African consumer base. Plus, there is a huge South Asian community that can benefit from Pakistan-made. Specifically, it's not everybody, of course, but speaking of the skin texture, the South Asian skin texture, yeah, and it would also be very great if the Core Natural collaborate with any of the South African company and come up with something specifically for African skin tone, African hair, which is so beautiful and radiant. Thank you, Myra. If there are any questions for Myra, I would request the speakers or in the audience, anyone who would like to ask anything from Myra is welcome. Andrea wanted to ask something.
Yes, thank you. I've been sending some messages to Kate because I didn't want to bother everyone else in the group, but I see she's not reading them, and I hope she doesn't miss them, because I think there's a possible collaboration between her desire and what we are also trying to do, including textiles here in South Africa. So I represent Salim Shah Mohammed at NBDOA, and one of the business interests is textiles, which is bringing into South Africa from Pakistan suppliers. And I was hoping we could connect with Kate in that regard.
Okay, so Kate represents South African textile sector. Who do you want to connect with, the South African one or Pakistan?
The South African one,
because
Salim is bringing Pakistani people here, and he's connecting them with South Africans.
Okay, so
it's all part of your network as well, I believe. Yes.
Gigi, we will connect you, Andrea, with Kate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea. Now I would request, we also have a textile representative from Pakistan, and we would also connect you with them. So if Salim Shah Mohammed would like to benefit from Lulusa as well. Now I would request Ms. Lindewli who is a manufacturer of sanitary pads in South Africa.
Oh, sorry. Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Oh, sorry. This is Daniel. I am from the Cosmetic Export Council of South Africa. So I am the chairman of the board for the Cosmetic Export Council of South Africa. So I've been listening to Myra, and we would like to really connect and also see how we can maximize our business engagement, through our industry. So yeah, thank you so much, Myra, and you're doing quite well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel, for joining us. And we will share with you, Myra, you're most welcome to share in the comment section your contact details in any way. Daniel, I would request you, I'm sure you have received the invitation, must be from the Trade Commission, but I would request you if you could share it in the comment section. I'll put you both in contact.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you so much for your patience also. And continue listening to us. Do not quit the session. I'm sure you all will benefit more from it. Now I would request Ms. Lindewli. Ms. Lindewli is manufacturing sanitary pad in South Africa. It is very interesting that in South African market, when I go to the high store, when I go to the local stores and I see South African brands manufacturing sanitary pads coming from Pakistan, sanitary pads is something that is a necessity for billions of women around the world. But unfortunately, I think except for Scotland and some few countries or cities, the product has VAT duty on it. And plus, coming from Pakistan, where this product is not locally manufactured and is being imported and is very expensive for the women to afford it. So it's very encouraging to have Lindewli here. We would request her to share her experience with us, the scope of the product in market, and her interest in taking her product abroad to Pakistan. So Ms. Lindewli, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lindewli Nkuna from Lindewli Sanitary Pads. So my company is named after me, and not because I wanted to name it after me, just because it's my name, but because of the meaning that it bears. Lindewli means the awaited one. Yeah. So after 6 boys, my mother was really trying for a girl child. So I've been a child that was awaited for. So looking into the sanitary pads industry in South Africa, like the program director said, there's a lot of imports, and most of the brands that are found in the shelves are actually from the multinationals that have found their ways into South Africa. So when I started Lindewli Sanitary Pads, I said, this is the brand that South Africa has been waiting for. This is because in South Africa, we do not have a local alternative. So anything that we buy in South Africa in shelves, it's either it's imported, or if it's done here in South Africa, it's just multinationals that came and settled here, which is good, but we also need locals to occupy the space of manufacturing. I believe women should not be ashamed of their menstruation, because menstruation is a no-go area topic in most cases. I believe our menstruation is not just blood, but it's our gold mine as women. Hence, I agreed to speak in this webinar, because we are the only menstruators as women, right? Yet when you look at the industry, especially in South Africa, the market is saturated by men. Most of the companies that are leading in the industry are actually male owned. So Lindewli was actually started so that it can bridge that gap, so that it can offer South African women and women outside of South Africa an opportunity to be role players in the value chain. So we are open for women to work with us, either in the whole manufacturing value chain, from the manufacturing itself to logistics to packaging, from start to finish. The opportunities that we have in our company is obviously in the logistics, in manufacturing itself, We are open to working with people that would want us to do their private labeling. So if, for instance, you don't have the equipment to start your own brand, you can contact us and we are able to do that. We manufacture it and we brand it in your name. Those are some of the opportunities. But in South Africa, we've been very fortunate because I think the DTIC has been taking care of us as women in South Africa that have been upcoming in the manufacturing space. They've been working with the Department of Women and the Department of Small Business Development to nurture us as small players. So we have found ourselves as Lindewli to be at a privileged position because our products are tested with the South African Bureau of Standard, meaning they are suitable for use, they are ready for imports, for exports, sorry. They are ready. So if there's anyone in Pakistan who would want to trade with us, they can be sure of the quality of our product. Yes. And we've also been very fortunate that obviously through the work that the DTIC and the Department of Small Business have been doing together, that now we are being placed in retail space. I'm talking mainstream retail space now. We are in very advanced stages of negotiations with Clicks, and Discam has just sent me an email today because of all these things that the work that the DTIC has been doing with the Department of Small Business Development. Those are just like part of the opportunities that if women from Pakistan would want to work with us, they're actually going to be jumping into a moving wagon, meaning that they'll be moving with us into the retail space, they'll be moving with us into the manufacturing space. So it's all, the opportunities are wide. It just depends on how they would want to position themselves. Also, the South African government has been intentional about where to buy, about their trading. When it comes to sanitary pads, because now the South African government has made it a policy of theirs that they need to procure sanitary pads for girls in quintile 1 to 3 schools. Those are poor schools in poor communities. So the Minister of Finance this February of 2021, he has put aside 678 million rands for this financial year just to buy sanitary pads, and the sanitary pad framework states that they need to buy the government needs to procure these sanitary pads from small businesses like ourselves and women-owned businesses. So if there are women in Pakistan that would want to tap into to partner with us, there's an opportunity for us to also trade with government. We've started already as Lindewli Sanitary Pads alone. As I speak to you now, I'm in another province, not where we are based in. We are based in Gauteng, in Pretoria. But now I'm speaking to you in Durban because now we are busy distributing sanitary pads to the rural areas in Durban. So there's quite a lot of opportunities, just not only in the private sector, but also in government. South African government is intentional about buying strictly from women-owned business. And I've been lucky, or maybe not so lucky, but I've been working hard, and with the support of the DTIC, I'm better placed. I got all the accreditation, that is my company, got the accreditations, our products have been tested, we're getting funded. So yeah, so we are better placed we are better placed, and we are a good company for Pakistan women to actually would want to trade with. I've also been asked to share a little bit about the challenges that we have faced as a company. Obviously, having started the company myself without any background of manufacturing at the beginning, what I can say to you is that starting a sanitary pads manufacturing company is actually capital intensive, meaning it's very expensive. You need a lot of cash injection there. For instance, a good industrial manufacturing machine that has a capacity to produce between 300 sanitary pads to 350 sanitary pads per minute will cost you something between 8 million and 11 million rand. So that's quite a lot of money. So that's like a barrier to entry. And once you then overcome that battle of being able to enter the market, now there's an issue of fighting for market space with very established brands that have actually monopolized the industry. So that's another challenge that is there. And for us as South African, I hope the DTIC is also still on online here with us. I think what also as South African women we need is not just to be placed in the market, because I think they've done so well there with the collaboration that they've been having with Department of Small Business in terms of giving us market access. But we also need assistance in terms of marketing our products, because then we are fighting with the big brands now, with the multinationals who have bigger budget. So if that can also be, we can be assisted with that. SABS as well, testing the products. DTIC and small business have been doing well on that. It's an expensive exercise. They came on board and they've assisted us, and they keep on assisting other people. So those are the biggest challenges. If we can get people, we've been helped to get our product approved. We've been helped with access to machineries and many other things. But those are challenges that women can expect, and that they can ready themselves to overcome. And also another challenge is that in South Africa, you cannot get sanitary pad manufacturing machine. You've got to import them. Also the raw materials as well, you've got to import them. The rand-dollar exchange problems, there isn't that much of a stability there as well. So it makes the whole exercise expensive, but it does not mean it's not doable. So having said that, I would like to say to women in general, that the most important thing, this is just my advice to women in Pakistan, to say the most important thing in this industry is to get started. Don't let the fact that you do not have enough capital to stop you. If it means you need to get in touch with companies like myself, and you say to us, let us do our private label manufacture for us, and then in our own brand, and then as you grow your business, then you are able to buy your own machinery. Do that, but whatever you do, just get started. Be in the industry, because then people are able to see the work that you are doing. They're able to identify with your brand, and then they're able to channel support in your direction. But if you don't start and you say, I don't have enough money, then people will not be able to assist you. Another advice that I've got is that I am a product of enterprise development, right? Programs. Maybe we've been lucky in South Africa that with the DTIC and the Department of Small Business Development, they've got a lot of programs that they support small businesses. So I want to say to women in Pakistan, research in your country, find those kind of programs, position yourself, go and register in their databases. If there's a program that can help you with a business plan, if there's a program that can help you with testing your products, in most cases, it's not one institution that gives you everything. It's different institutions that offers a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So it's up to you to go into all those different places, and you get whatever you can get, and you put it in your basket. And at the end of the day, you'll find yourself that you've got all the requirements, and you've got even you are compliant with all the things that are needed for you to move forward. So that's one of the advices that I would also give. And I'll also say, I'm now speaking to power now, taking advantage of the fact that we're speaking through this whole webinar was organized by the High Commission of Pakistan, to say in South Africa, I think my company has benefited. It's in this position that it is at because the Department of Women with the DTIC and the Department of Small Business have actually taken a role to advocate to government and say to government, you are going to put a policy that says you must buy from women organization. You must buy from women organization menstrual products because they are the only menstruators. Therefore, the money that is channeled and the budget that is channeled for menstrual products should be channels to should be used for procurement from businesses that are owned by women. So I think also to help women in Pakistan, something like that, people that are in a position of power, people that are in a position to advocate for that, if you can do that, that can help women a lot, because I've seen it helping us in South Africa. I'm a beneficiary of that. Without wasting my 10, I hope I haven't exhausted my 10 minutes. So that's all that I can say for now. And also just to extend my gratitude to the High Commission of Pakistan for having given me this opportunity to share my experience and my little word of wisdom with the women of Pakistan and the women of South Africa that are listening, and to say big ups to the DTIC, Department of Women, South African government, and the Small Business Development for the developmental work that they're doing to us entrepreneurs in South Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lindewli. Thank you very much for your very comprehensive, very informed share this information and your briefing. Lindewli, it was very informative. I learned a lot. It's very good to hear how at the policy level the government is encouraging women entrepreneurs in the sector to empower them, because they are the direct consumers. They are the only consumers. And plus the government, how the government is spending or has planned to spend range 678 million. And also the opportunity that you shared with us for the women entrepreneurs in Pakistan who want to come to this sector and collaborate with the manufacturers, the sanitary pad manufacturers in South Africa, and benefit from it. Not only will they be profiting for themselves, B, they will be serving the community here, and they will also learn the skill and can replicate it back in Pakistan, giving the credit to the South African government and to the entrepreneurs for having had this opportunity to collaborate and everything. So I think it's a very nice opportunity. Anyone in the speakers or in the audiences who would like to ask a question or anything from Lindewli is most welcome. I saw Nancy wanted to ask a question. I don't know if Nancy still wants to ask a question from somebody. Okay, moving on. The last but not least, today's speaker is Mr. Fawad. He is the COO of Lulusa. Lulusa is an emerging clothing brand in Pakistan, and we would request Mr. Fawad to briefly introduce his company and some of the features of the textile sector. In textile specifically, the clothing sector. The opportunities and the challenges in that sector, and why investing in or collaborating with Pakistani entrepreneurs in that sector, how collaborating with the Pakistani entrepreneurs in that sector can benefit the South African community, and any other point that Mr. Fawad would like to raise and share with us. Mr. Fawad, thank you, and thank you for your patience. And now I would request you for your comments. Okay,
so, hi everyone. Hope everyone has been doing well. So yeah, so basically I am Fawad. I am the COO for the brand Lulusa. And Lulusa, basically, I'll take you directly to the presentation. Would want to give you a little brief about the brand, which will give an idea about the brand, like what's the model, how it's basically being operated. So hope you guys can see the screen.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so basically Lulusa came into existence around 4 years ago. It was founded by Asghar Hassan and his wife Yasmin Shafiq. Basically I shook hands along the way, and then I took the project in my hands and took off. So far we started off very mellow with a team of 4 or 5 people, and now it's a huge team. We've expanded, grown a lot. Now we have around 300 people working under Lulusa. Lulusa is a sister company of another company, Matrix Sourcing. Matrix Sourcing has been in the sourcing business for the last 30 years. They have been sourcing products for Nike, Adidas, a lot of other European brands, and there's another sister company, Triple Tree, and they develop quality control softwares. They are working with right now Hoinstein, J. Crew, Levi's, and they're in talks with Hugo Boss also. So it's a basically Matrix group. So LuluSir is part of the same group, and Asfar Hassan is the CEO and founder. I am the COO, and I run all the operations, including manufacturing, design, everything. So LuluSir, basically by the name, as the name suggests, LuluSir is a lake up north in Pakistan. It's a very organic, natural area and a very serene, beautiful area in Pakistan. It's a visiting place. And so the name, the reason of putting up the name was to create a connect with Pakistan.
Fawad, I would interrupt you. We cannot see like the full screen. We can see half of the screen. I don't
Just is it fine now?
No, actually, no, actually, we cannot see the full presentation. You know, yeah, you have to drag it a little up.
Is it better?
No, actually, no. Do you mind like
Yeah, wait, I'll do it again.
Yeah, now we can. Now we can.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. So I'll take you further ahead. So it's basically LuluSir. It's a very hybrid fast fashion brand, but again, it's very focused towards sustainability. And the main model of the business is on-demand manufacturing. So we don't overproduce any products. We've broken down the entire year into 12 micro seasons, and we do launch one collection every month. And we split that collection into different chapters, and every week there's a new chapter launching. So it's basically new excitement for the consumer. Whenever they log into the website, they find something new. But talking about having so many launches, so many collections around the year, if everyone definitely does think that what kind of stocks we're creating, and definitely we're overproducing. So, but that's not the case. We have a very hybrid fast fashion kind of business model. Whatever products are selling well, we produce within 2 to 3 days of dispatch time, and we ship to the consumer right away. So we don't produce once we have the sales in our, then we produce within 2 to 3 days. So basically, it's from concept to delivery and in store is 20 days. It's a completely on demand. Right now we have around 4 in 2 cities, 2 in Lahore and 2 in Karachi, and we're further planning to expand into other cities and internationally also. So we are very heavily invested into using technology, and these are the main softwares we are right now working with. It's Clo, Tukate, Pro, Vizu, and WGSN. You'll in moving ahead in the presentation. So WGSN of around that how the season and what kind of textiles, what kind of fabrication would be used. From there, we create a color story for every month, every new collection, and Coloro is a digital lab. We pick our color palettes from there, and then we start. It's LuluSir is a very heavily print-driven brand, so we create our digital prints and then move on to the Clo 3D. Clo 3D is a software where you can develop all the products digitally on a 3D avatar, and you don't even need to produce samples. So you reduce a lot of footprint of excessive fabrication being wasted in sampling. And
I am. Yeah, I'm sorry. Mr. Honey.
So this software helps us basically save a lot of time and cost, and it's very.
I'm sorry.
Continue. Can I continue?
Yeah. Please continue. Fawad?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Save a lot of time and cost, and basically you can create any product, and you can scan the actual fabric digitally, and you can create the actual fabric digitally through this software. So on the screen on the left, you can see the virtual avatar being which was designed virtually in the software, and on the right, it's very hard to tell the difference. So it basically brings down the time of 2 to 3 days of development to 1 to 2 hours of development time, and a lot of so the same vertically integrated roof. So we do our 3D. We do focus a lot on using the kind of influence we've developed in the society towards empowering women. So basically, we do a lot of campaigns which focus completely on celebrating women of color. So this was our recent campaign, which we launched, talking about it doesn't matter what color or skin you have, what size of waist you have, what height you have. It's basically everyone. So all the women should be treated equally. Everyone, even all the humans, should be treated equally. So this is our recent campaign. So we launched this on the Women's Day recently, the day before yesterday. It's basically all about empowering women and giving them the platform to encourage themselves and furthermore. So we also work with a lot of schools up in the north, and a lot of basically people, just to promote their talent, just being a sponsor to their talent. So this is one of the two girls who run this camp up in the Gilgit-Baltistan. They run a school for training for football for girls who don't have the opportunity and the privilege to basically avail all these opportunities. So basically, we are a very strong force behind this group, and so we keep supporting them for different areas. So, and then apart from that, we keep on working on a lot of women empowerment campaigns, and yeah, just a second. Yeah, so we work with a lot of students, a lot of entrepreneurs. We try to use our influence in the society and give them a platform where they can talk about their talents, talk about their challenges, their profession, their basically skills. So if we talk about CSR, so we do we are invested heavily into creating awareness in the society. We did this really huge event, I think a few months back, creating awareness on breast cancer. It was a LuluSir Polo in Pink. We promoted the entire event through a polo match, and a lot of engagement was created. And I think we did I think a lot of positive, we did float a lot of positive word in the society. Apart from that, we do a lot of body positive campaigns. As I showed you earlier, we do celebrate women of color, women of different body types. And then we work with a lot of lifestyle influencers in Pakistan, celebrities, just to create a win-win situation where we can influence through our platform, where what LuluSir stands for, create and basically translate the ethos of the brand towards the community. So it's so all the actions have to translate to some words, definitely. So apart from that, we do these campaigns every year just to promote the tourism and culture of Pakistan. So where everyone can see that where LuluSir comes from, how LuluSir is connected to Pakistan. So there are different campaigns every year. We do go up north. We travel with a huge team of people, models, artists, videographers, and we do a huge campaign. Not just shoot products, but again we capture the entire story, and basically just to promote what kind of beauty we have here in Pakistan. So yeah. So right now we have 4 stores. This is on the left. You can see it's our e-store. In Lahore, we have 2 stores. One is in DHA and the other is in Gulberg. Karachi, we have 2 stores. One is in DHA and the other is in Debenhams. It's in a huge mall. And then we have further 2 more brands, Moorish. Yeah, it's a more fancy, more luxury sort of brand, catering towards the festivities and the wedding season, and a more premium look of the product. And apart from that, we've recently launched this athleisure product line by the name of Koyo. Koyo is basically a mountain, Koyo zone in the Hindu Kush mountain range of Pakistan. So all the brands we name, all the products we name, all the collections we name are connected to somehow the northern areas of Pakistan or the villages there, just to show more connect to basically Pakistan, the country. So for Koyo, basically right now we are really planning to expand into the European market. So right now we have a huge team who's working with us, and we do plan to promote Koyo and expand to different gyms in Italy and Europe and Germany. So the project is already on the way, and we are talking to a lot of gyms and a lot of people. So we have our own manufacturing facility. We have our own design facility in-house. So it's the progress is happening, and hopefully by mid or end of this year, we'll be expanding to Europe, definitely. And for Lulusir, we have already expanded to UAE. In Bangladesh, we have few stores partnered with Inglot, and opened 2 to 3 stores in Bangladesh also. And now we do plan to expand Lulusir to European sector also and US at the same time. So for Koyo, it's completely 100% digital brand. We don't even create samples. We do everything digitally through software. Even we do shoots digitally just to focus more on the sustainability. It saves us a lot of time, saves us a lot of money also. And then we do work with a lot of influencers and fitness activists in US and Europe. So we create products for them internationally under their brand name. It's a basically co-branded product sometimes, and sometimes it's completely developed under their name. So this is the process of designing digital products. And at the end, I'll show you a video which will give you a recap on the entire progress of work that happens here at Lulusir. Yeah, so basically, if we talk about Lulusir, it's the idea is not to just sell products. We basically want to create a community through which we can sell a story and support women and empower women throughout the society and the country, definitely. So we have been, to some extent, been successful in this in these 4 years. We have expanded, grown a lot. If we talk about our head office, we have, I think, the ratio of the basically maybe gender balance is excellent. I think more than 50% people in the team are women, and we do encourage a lot of women and new people to come on board and be part of the brand. So, and apart from this, basically, if you guys have any question, and from there, I think I'll go towards talking about the textile area of Pakistan. Um, if we talk about the opportunities and the features, it's basically, it's not hidden. Textile industry is the largest manufacturing industry of Pakistan, and I think it's the eighth largest textile. Pakistan is the eighth largest textile exporter in the world. So textile contributes around 8.5% to the GDP, and the sector employs around 45% of total labor force in the country. So basically, I personally think there are a lot of opportunities and challenges in the sector. And if we talk about that challenges right now, it's basically we do face a lot of on the cost side. The charges are on the power and wages are very high. It's basically the lack of training programs. Industry is shifting to other countries, and the main problem is for the new players in the industry, like entrepreneurs or the young people, the lack of funding and the understanding and the lack of training. And if you talk about the opportunities, definitely there are, I think, countless. Pakistan is really strong on the textile bit, getting, spinning, weaving, processing, and the garments manufacturing side. It's very heavily, I think, everyone across the world, Pakistan is very well known. So even basically, and we do have the ability to adapt to new challenges as a community, as a country, in overall. And if we talk about last year, I think it was very challenging. And if we talk about Lulu Sir, during COVID, we had our own production facility, and we did steer towards moving our factory towards producing new products like PPEs. We started produce PPEs, medical masks, medical equipment, and we did work with government also during the pandemic, the lockdown, or the Corona peak time. So it was, I think, helped a lot in our, as much as we could. So we have been working with a lot of NGOs also, just to support women artisans, to create more jobs and more opportunities for them. So yeah, this is about Lulu Sir. But again, Lulu Sir do aspire to expand internationally, Pakistan, apart from Pakistan. And we do have a plan already in place, and hopefully Koyo will be expanding to Europe, and Lulusfer further alongside, both will be expanding to further countries. But again, the challenges and are basically, there's a lot of lack in funding, the lack of understanding of business and entrepreneurship ideas. So yeah, I hope you guys, if you guys have any questions, do let me know. I'm here to answer.
Thank you, Fawad. We're very grateful, and thank you for giving us this information. Everybody will keep asking me here that Pakistan has very, is very good in home textiles, but and also the traditional South Asian textiles. But thank you. Now I have a name in fast fashion, Lulusa,
Yep.
and anyone from the participants would like to ask a question from Fawad is most welcome. Who would like to
I have one question, Mr. Fahd. How would you like to export to the other countries, or your operations are currently in Pakistan? Or
Yeah, sure. We are open for the idea. And about our business model, what we've done is we've created this business model of creating these micro factories. So we're not really investing on to create a huge one production facility, but rather create small micro factories and plopping them in different regions. Like one we have in Lahore, and the second one we can open up in Karachi. And if we plan to export to South Africa, we may get the investments or the funding, and we open another small micro factory in South Africa, which ships and delivers to different regions within South Africa. But the hub will be here in Lahore, with the design team, the marketing, PR, the content development, everything happens here, and the production happens to the relevant, close to the relevant region. Through that, basically, we will be able to reduce the cost of shipping, the product development and everything, product production and everything. Yeah, we do I think we are open for the idea of exporting to other countries. Right now, we are exporting to Bangladesh. We are exporting to Dubai for Lulusar, and Koyo, we're planning to export to Europe. Definitely, we are open for the discussions for export.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll share my cell number, so I'll take it further information from there on the contacts WhatsApp.
Yeah, sure.
I'll share
Okay.
details of I'll share details of Shahid Sahab with Mr. Fawad Shah Sahab.
Thank you,
See,
Myra.
I'll connect you both, and then the reason is because Mr. Fawad, in South Africa we have a very good. South Africa has a very good fitness culture, and there is a good audience here, and about a segment of the society that Koyo can you can sell the Koyo to, and you can benefit from it. So yeah, I think there is. Is there
Yeah,
any?
I'll show you the website also. This is our website. You can log on luluser.com.
Yeah.
Yep. So Luluser has the product line for Koyo also.
Yeah. Beside the fast fashion goods like
That's all.
Koyo has, and plus Koyo is very affordable. If you look, plus it will have like a duty of around, with the duty even then it's very affordable in South Africa. What do you think, Shahid Saab?
37 plus 15%. If we do a joint operation here to do the things manufacturing and get the fabric from Pakistan and have it stitched here, there is no duty on the fabric itself. It's only the VAT. So the cost of what you call it manufacturing here, stitching here, that will be much better, and it's considered as a South African products stitching here since then, and then it's easy access to the exporting to the neighboring country as well, to all the stores and everything, and market as a like South African products, you know.
Yeah. The design and all the ops can be held from here, and we can talk about basically planning the production.
Designs are superb. Only the fittings, if the fitting goes along like the local brands here, Adidas and the Nike and the other brands what offer here in these kind of clothing. So if the fitting is same, then you know that way if you're stitching here, we can always alternate that thing. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely we can get in touch, and I can product
Yeah.
samples.
Sure. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Fawad. We will connect you both. We will connect you to Mr. Shahid, and if there are any other person in the audiences who would like to talk to Mr. Fawad, we have him now, and everyone has the contact details of the Trade Commission of Pakistan. We would love to facilitate you and connect you to the right people in Pakistan. Thank you. I really thank you, Mr. Fawad, for your patience. For being with us, and I also thank our other speakers, our guest speakers, especially Madam Zia Bakhtiar Sahiba, and then the public sector representative, Madam Myra Kazi, also Rashmee Ragavan, the DTI officials who joined us, not as speaker but in the audience. I'm really grateful to the Department of Trade and Industry Competition, officials from South Africa, the officials from Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, Ministry of Commerce. I would like to thank Rabia, Myra Qureshi, and Fawad from Pakistan in representing the private sector, Kat and Lindewli from South Africa, and all other entrepreneurs who were also present in the audience and were appreciating Kate and Lindewli and other speakers for their contribution and information continuous. So we are really grateful, and Trade Commission of Pakistan is open to everyone. Of course, we represent the government of Pakistan, but we are open to the entrepreneurial community, to the business community in South Africa, both middle range, high end, and small one, who wants to collaborate with Pakistan. It's not a single way traffic, it's a both way traffic, and we both it's not necessary only to benefit when you export, you also benefit when you import, and we believe in the mutual benefit. That's our trading psychology. So for a mutually beneficial relationship, Trade Commission of Pakistan is open to everyone. Feel free to drop a message, email, text to me. You have my contact details. So with this, we would end today's session. I am really grateful to the speakers today and for the information and for the time that they share with us. Let me see if anyone wants to, yeah, somebody appreciate it. I don't know, you appreciate, let's see. And then Okay, so we had Teresa Moller also, who is executive director of the Cosmetic Export Council of South Africa. Anyone who would like to have her contact, we will share her contact also with Myra, and we'll also connect Fawad Lulu Sir brand with Salim Sher Mohammed, who also expressed interest in import of textile from Pakistan, import of textile from Pakistan to South Africa. With this, we will end today's session. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Okay. Enjoy.
Thank you.
And any other ideas for future collaboration or such exercises, feel free to share it with us. If you want the Trade Commission to arrange webinars or any B2B session, B2G sessions, do let us know.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.